Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about both gambling, cryptocurrency, BEPRO specifically, Theta, and a bunch of other things. So strap in, we got a hell of a video today. So first, I just want to open this up with a bit of an exercise. I want you to imagine right now that you're walking into a gas station. You are behind one person who is consistently handing in lottery tickets to have them tested to see whether or not they're a winner or a loser. Especially in this time during the global health crisis that's going on, we see the effects of gambling tenfold on the community. We see a huge amount of gambling coming out as casinos are closed. Now, my point here isn't to talk about the morality of gambling, far from it. I'm more talking about how important this aspect is moving into the next 10 to 15 years. Because gambling is going to be a huge part of one, the financial system, two, of cryptocurrency in general. We already know that. So let's talk a bit about Theta in terms of the whole gambling aspect and everything else. We've discussed Theta before on the channel. We know that it's a good project and it's entering the NFT space. We understand now that they have a partnership with the World Poker Tour and are actually hosting some events. They also have a poker platform. So obviously Theta is moving into the NFT space, which is why Theta is going to be a huge bet going into gaming and NFTs. The reason why this is important is because we're looking at a token that does very similar aspects and even broadens that aspect into further amounts of gambling, gaming, and other DeFi aspects. So in terms of BEPRO, so just going over the BEPRO system, again, it's a platform that offers solutions for industries looking to enhance their systems and bring in gaming, gambling, and every other aspect of DeFi coming in. They have staking platforms and everything else within the gaming platform. So BEPRO has the integration to build out all these other aspects and also goes into future markets and everything else, but we'll discuss that further when we talk more about the CEO. So let's also talk about the tokenomics for BEPRO. We know that there was some FUD earlier on in the month about BEPRO in terms of the token supply. Now, this is a common issue. We've seen this both with refinance as well, where there was an error, a clerical error in terms of reporting the circulating supply to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Now we currently have 4.6 billion circulating supply, maximum supply of 10 billion, and we currently have a market cap of roughly 63 million. Now, BEPRO is currently sitting at 1.4 cents USD. Now, just to discuss the chart, we obviously see the downtrend motion of the chart. It's obviously going into a downtrend. Now, if we look at a couple of key indicators, one, the RSI, we're at the bottom of the RSI, which tells us that we're a little bit at the point where we're almost undersold. We're almost to the point where we should be seeing a switch in trend. Now, if we take a closer look at the trend, we can obviously see that we are entering a descending triangle. So this could represent that we are going to go into a downward motion. So we could obviously break out down to the downside, but I do think if we do make a move down to the downside, I think that's going to be temporary. You can see that we're holding at least some support above the previous pump that we went from below 1 cent. So we do have some support, but I do think we are about to make our leg up and move up to the upside. I especially think that even after a small downside trend, either completing this trend, going further into the oversold territory. But in terms of the chart and the project, I do think we are in order for an upward trend from here to have BEPRO go back up to the upside. Now, how high that's going to go in the near term, I'm not sure. I know where I expect BEPRO to go by the end of the bull market, and that's roughly around 23, 24 cents. But for now, I'm totally unsure of exactly where BEPRO is going to go. And when you're looking at a market cap this small, especially with BEPRO, these movements can be very exaggerated in terms of where it goes, either to the upside or to the downside. A very small whiff of FUD can really exasperate this. We know this with the Reddit post. The actual CEO and a few other people have responded to the big Reddit post that has been coming up with the FUD. And interestingly enough, the author of that post actually apologized for most of the information that they let out into that post. We know that Rory is a big player in the space. He co-founded Polkamarkets and a bunch of other things. He also discussed a lot about Polkamarkets. I want to bring up this tweet here though about the NFT factory is now in open beta. I do understand that they need this live within the next few weeks to meet some sort of deadline in terms of when this is deployed for their current clients. And obviously they do have current clients on the books right now, so they are working with a functional product unlike most other cryptocurrencies. So BEPRO has a platform, but we know that BEPRO's team is relatively small. Before I go into where I think BEPRO is going in the next 10 to 15 years, I just want to play an interview here with Rory in Cryptos R Us discussing exactly what Rory has founded with both Polkamarkets and where we can expect BEPRO to go.
It seems like you're in multiple projects. Not only are you co-founder BEPRO, but looking at your website, also you're a co-founder of Polkamarkets. Obviously, that's a prediction market. You said BEPRO kind of started that way. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So Polkamarkets came off the idea of, we have clients from all the spaces: betting, NFT, staking, B stocks. We have Exceed.me. We have other clients that we're announcing very soon on the NFT side also. So we wanted to do something with prediction markets because that was one of my focus personally. And we couldn't find any good partner or client to work with. So we decided, okay, let's just put our smart people together that I know. Ricardo and Francisco have been working, and I know them for some time already. And let's put them to work on this with us. Let's build this prediction market, which will be basically built on BEPRO technology for Polkadot and Moonbeam specifically, because it's an Ethereum based RPC for Polkadot. And it's a showcase. It's more than a showcase. Now it's becoming a very strong project with very good fundamentals, very amazing team, which I'm very proud to be part of, and creating this, taking this idea to the hands of the public. And we wanted to create this prediction market, something that Augur was never able to do well. Something that Gnosis were never able to do well. They did the ERC 1155 of conditional tokens. We have been digging all of that for the last year, but they have womaneat.com or something like that, which is a prediction market they have internal for use, but they don't make that public. They don't make the humanity go forward. I think prediction markets are the future, not only for us, but for finance. I really think that will be the next asset class. Holding shares of, if Trump will ever be a president again, I think is something very cool, and people really undermine that. I really think that's an asset class, and Polkamarkets I think will be very big on that sense.
Yeah, and then we were talking a little bit before. I had no clue, but you mentioned you're also advisor for Polkastarter as well, right?
Yeah, I've worked with Polkastarter and with that team for a while. I'm very friends with the CTO, which is Tiago. Daniel, Tiago are very smart guys. And the same with Exceed.me, which I'm also an advisor of. The biggest variable here is I work with people that I know are smarter than me, and I try to learn the most. I'm very helpful if I can provide any value, and that for me is the crucial part. With Exceed.me, Polkastarter, BEPRO, Polkamarkets, I think if I can provide value to create products that are cool, I think that's the biggest thing.
So obviously what he's talking about here is a huge deal. We've discussed before what the derivative market is, and that's all the options, stocks, trades. FTX has done numerous tokens on elections, either the before 2020 election, and FTX just launched a token that you can bet whether or not Donald Trump is going to win the 2024 election. Now, in terms of financial advice, I'm not telling anyone to bet, and I definitely wouldn't be betting on a presidential election, and especially not in 2024. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people do this kind of betting. This kind of betting is very, very normal, and in fact has been around far before cryptocurrency. So the fact that we are bringing these platforms within crypto, this is what's really going to change everything. We can obviously see some potential late game when we're talking about things like betting, things like DeFi gaming, things like poker, things like blackjack, or any other sort of betting or gambling aspect. These are going to be huge profit centers in the next 10 to 15 years. We see how prevalent gambling is amongst the community today in the population. Gambling is huge, and obviously there's a moral aspect behind gambling. But irregardless, here we talk about good profits and good businesses, and I think BEPRO is going to be one of those businesses. Like I said, BEPRO has an active platform today. It may not be fully fleshed out. We may still be a work in progress, and we may have a small team, but often you need to make bets like these to get into the projects when they're first starting out. It's very easy to buy VeChain now that it's at 23 cents, or Theta now that it's at $13. And it's very, very, very hard to buy BEPRO down here at 1.4 cents. I just can't stress this enough, how important it is to buy projects when they're on the downtrend rather when they're on the uptrend. This is behavior that you're going to need in a bear market. These are things that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to look past the FUD, research the project, understand where the project is, where it's going to go, and then make your calculated bet based on your information. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't be taking financial advice from me. I'm just here to complement your research on which tokens you are buying. And if it's up to me, you should be adding BEPRO to your portfolio. If you got any value out of this video, go ahead and give me a like. I did miss the portfolio update for this week, so we're going to double that up and add $800 in the next week here. So tune in for that. That's going to happen. If you guys have any comments about BEPRO specifically, whether it's FUD or FOMO, go ahead and comment down below. We'll discuss them in the comments and we'll talk about all the things that you guys might bring to the table. Go ahead and subscribe for more crypto news and analysis, and happy hodling.